All right, Youngstown, we are back again for another episode of Belly Left Leadership. I'm your Superintendent Jeremy Batchelor, and I'm excited today because I have some very special guests. But remember, before we introduce our guests, what the Belly Left Leadership podcast is about. It is about building on the Belly Left Leadership mantra, understanding that we all have a job to do, understanding that we prepare, we execute, we do our job with tenacity, but it's a simple play, based off of an athletic football play, but it translates to life, translates to everything we do here in the district and in our personal lives. That if we all know our roles, we execute, we prepare, then we can get the job done. And we have a great job to do here in Youngstown City School District and in our entire community. So I'm happy to have another episode here, and it is that time of year. As a former high school principal, this is my favorite time of the year, and as a school official, as we get ready to prepare for commencement exercises. Not an ending, but a beginning. And so to celebrate that, we are doing podcasts with our high school principals and our valedictorians, the top of the class. And so today I have with me our valedictorian from Chaney High School, Miss Farah Little, and I have our principal, Cowboy One, Tricia Mulcahy. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
All right. So I have a few questions I'm going to ask, and we're just going to dialogue. And I'll start with Ms. Mulcahy. As the leader of the building, what are your key priorities for and goals for your school?
Right now, we are talking about engagement. We started the year out with, we know that 100% of our scholars are engageable, but they're not engaged. So what are we doing to engage them? How are we getting them engaged? Because again, we want them there. We want them to be there, but we don't want them just to be there, like just sitting there, just compliant. We want them to be engaged in what they're doing. So what we did this year was we brought back our Cowboy Council. We brought our student council back. And I think that gives the students a voice. That started giving us an idea as to, what do you want to see? How do you want to see it? And again, this last group, this group of seniors, they were our COVID students. We didn't get to see them as freshmen, only in little squares. So I think education has changed since COVID. I think that a lot of students don't realize the importance, and we have to go back to what it's all about. And I think that this year we've tried to focus on what the students need, what the students want, and how we can bring that to them. And I think one of the other things, the Y-Star YSU connection, that is something I believe is going to be a game changer. I think that our scholars are going to benefit greatly. And it's going to give them time, to go into a university setting, see what they like, see what the life is like. And I think that could change a lot of things. But I'm also very, I think our building we're working with our ninth grade specifically on careers and what is a career. What are the opportunities out there? Because again, this program at Chauvin, there have been some students, scholars in the last couple of years that have graduated from the welding program. They were apprenticing last year during prom, and they were making money, and they got to get their car, get their tax. They bought tickets for kids that couldn't get tickets. I mean, it was amazing. And that's a program right here at Chauvin that they succeeded in. And they're still with the same company. They're still with Boardman Steel, and, very successful programs. And, Chauvin has some great programs, but there's all kinds of things out there. There's all kinds of opportunities that just aren't college related. And we have to expose our scholars to that. I think we're working on that.
Well, it sounds like to me you're doing a lot. And it sounds like to me, you have a very holistic approach, and I appreciate your leadership at Chaney, and I love the engagement piece. It's something that we're working on across the entire district, but particularly at our high schools, to make sure our college scholars are ready to come here and then beyond and be ready to be active members of our community. So, let's keep working on the work. All right. So, speaking of a product, and yes, you said something I just thought about. I forgot that these seniors this year were those ninth graders that year of COVID. And, that was the year I moved out of a building. And so it's been different. So, but Farah, you've endured a lot, as a high school student over the last 4 years. But tell us about your experience in Youngstown. I mean, how long have you been here? Did you go here your entire career? And then what are some of your most memorable experiences in Youngstown City?
So I've been in Youngstown for about 7 years now.
Okay.
I moved here when I was 10 from Philadelphia, PA.
Okay.
So since coming here, I haven't really had trouble with school,
Okay.
especially coming to this high school, Chaney High School.
Mhm.
For COVID, it didn't really affect me as much as it did other students. If anything, it helped me improve better in my speech, especially in my
Okay.
confidence.
Okay. All right. That is awesome. So, in your academic journey, obviously you are the top of your class. So it's been remarkable. Share with us what motivated you to excel and how do you use your time efficiently?
So what motivated me to become valedictorian? I just like the title of, being on the top.
I like that. Hey,
Listen, that's not
be
that's
real.
not a
I
bad
like it.
title.
Not at
I
all.
really want it just for the title.
Okay.
And like all the chords, I always see people on social media with all their chords. So I'm like, I want to be like that.
That is cool.
I want to show off on my chords too.
Yeah.
But that's really what motivated me. What kept me focused is just the drive. Really,
Okay.
the
Okay.
drive.
All right. So, what advice would you give to younger scholars? Let's say those ninth graders coming into high school next year that they want to be the next Farrar Little. What advice do you give them?
Find a passion.
Okay.
That passion will take you so far, so far, and it will drive you to do greater things.
Okay. Awesome advice. Ms. Mulcahy, you kind of already answered this next question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How do you foster an environment of support, whether academically or holistically? What are some of the specific things that maybe you do? Give us some examples.
Well, let's see. Well, first of all, I think I started with the fact that we are trying to have communication with students. We're trying to have scholars tell us what they want.
Absolutely.
We are working with incentives. We're
Mhm.
trying to say, this is what we're offering you. Can you
Mhm.
come here? But what do you want? What do you
Right.
want to be here? So I think being supportive. We have social workers, we have school counselors, we have some really great teachers,
We do.
and they put a lot of time and a lot of effort. Our deans, it's building the relationships and getting to know scholars and what they need,
Right.
because it's not just about the academic piece.
Right.
And like she said, finding that passion.
Mhm.
And our arts program, we have,
Oh, yeah.
Ms. Verducci, Ms. Lloyd, they have been doing a phenomenal job, getting that passion for art back in our building.
Right.
And that's exciting. And, again, but what do you need to be here and how can we help you?
Okay.
And we started something this year we kind of started last year with parents and students. But this year with our ninth graders, we have held success meetings. And so
Okay.
instead of doing, the large parent meetings, we still hold those here and there, but we have brought in parents with their scholar, sat them down with our APs, our guidance counselors, our deans, our social workers, whole teams, and said, this is what your child needs to be successful. This is where we're at.
Mhm.
This is where your child needs to go. And again, we might have one success meeting. We might have 2 or 3 based on what the child needs.
Okay.
And again, it's not always discipline. It's not always behavior.
Right.
A lot of times it's, other issues. It's academic.
Mhm.
It's, personal things outside of the home.
Absolutely.
It's, it's all kinds of things. But we're finding out, sitting down as a group and showing that scholar that we have a team here. How can we help you?
Mhm.
That we've had some success. And we're trying to use that, as our model. And again, we did it 10th, 11th, and 12th grade this year also.
Right.
But we've truly focused
On
on
those
those
ninth
ninth graders. And I think we've had more ninth grade parent meetings than we've ever had. And requiring those parents, you have to be here. You
Absolutely.
really have to be here because, again, I think that makes it, relevant to them, seeing exactly what they need to see, showing them this is the grades, this is, the credits that the student needs, this is what they're missing,
Right.
Understanding attendance. What's the purpose of attendance? Why, just because, maybe there's a busing or a transportation issue, the child is missed this many days or this many hours,
Right.
and this is the, what the calculation is. And it's teaching
Mhm.
them and teaching them what has changed and what we can do to support you.
So I've been listening to you, and I love talking to principals as a former principal because they, without even trying to, they kind of always bring back home our mantra. We've all been in school improvement pretty much our entire careers and really working to improve outcomes for scholars. And you said rigor, relevance, and relationships. all of our dear friend, Dr. Bill Daggett, who we've all worked with over years, he kind of coined those phrases years ago, and we've all embraced them, and they permeate throughout our schools and our work, and just naturally, those are what we're about as educators that truly care about young people. So I commend you and I thank you. So Ferrado, because I echo what Ms. Mulcahy said, we need to hear and we want to hear from our scholars about what makes school relevant. And so what, as someone that's outgoing, I know it's maybe too late for us to do something maybe you want to do, but I've been asking our scholar advisory committee and different young people that I meet with, I mean, what would you like to see if you could do high school over again? What are some things that maybe we could do differently or better?
I wish they would have had us from the start as we were freshmen. This is your class that you'll be with throughout the year. So I really wish they informed some type of team bonding
Okay.
to get us to know each other, because I'm going to be honest, I don't know half of my class's names. I don't know who they are.
Okay.
And I wish I did,
Okay.
because that would help us connect more and make more decisions throughout the year.
Family. I get it.
And I think, and just to play on that, I think that's what we felt was missing.
Mhm.
And prior to COVID,
Mhm.
you know, we had a freshman academy, we had a ninth grade academy, and we did work, you know, bringing those kids together and doing that bonding piece. And I feel like with COVID, we lost it. And I feel bad that those scholars missed out on that, but we're going to try to bring it back. So, but I do want to shout out our valedictorian here. She's also a young scholar. So
Wonderful.
she will be attending Ohio State University, and we are very proud because that is a great program.
Mhm.
And like I said, I just to see her get to go to Ohio State and live out her dream, it is so exciting.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
Ms. Mulcahy's taking over my show.
sorry.
That was my next question.
Sorry about
But
that.
hey, no, she knows you and and it sounds like she knows me. So, but as you prepare to go into the next chapter, tell us about what you're going to do. I know you're going to Ohio State. You know, tell us about what you plan to study and what your future plans are and what you're interested in.
So I plan to go get my bachelor's degree in nursing.
Okay.
So I'll get my BSN. I want to become a certified registered nurse anesthetist. So I want to be as close to the operation room as possible.
Okay.
I did want to pursue becoming a neurosurgeon,
Okay.
but I felt like that was like a little too much. But I still want to stay as close to the operation room as possible.
Okay.
Even if I was like working in sterilization or like just handing medicine or handing tools in general.
Okay. All
So
right.
I thought being an anesthetist would be good because I am good at math.
Yeah.
Math is my specialty. So I thought that'd be really good for me.
You're using words I can't even pronounce, but I love it. And I am so anxious to watch your future and watch what you do. And then I'm going to say this. Once you become that a nurse anesthetist, I think I pronounced that correctly.
Got it.
And you're making all that big money, make sure you don't forget about us little people here in the Youngstown City
definitely
School
won't.
District. We're going to be trying to really ramp up our alumni groups. And so I would love to have you come back and talk to our scholars and then, you know, be a part of our whole district alumni groups in the future. So that's our futuristic focus. And so many great things have happened in Youngstown over the years. And in my opinion, sometimes we don't celebrate those enough and we don't bring back our alumni who are doing great things enough. So this is also a call to action to our alumni. Reach out to us. We want to hear from you. We'd love to have you back in the district and be a part of us continuing to create the Youngstown Excellence Experience or recreate. Let me say that. All right. So let's talk about this is a leadership podcast. And leadership to me changes organizations and changes lives. So what is your definition as a young lady? What is your definition of leadership?
Leadership to me means to lead people into the right path, setting an example.
Okay.
A really good example.
All right. Ms. Mulcahy, same question for you.
Same thing. I mean, but leadership's also along my journey in education, I have learned that some of the best leaders are coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be an academic coach, it could be an athletic coach, but because you have to understand who your players are, you have to understand their strengths and their weaknesses and how to build upon that. And I think that leadership, as a great leader, you have to be able to read people and know who's following you. And you also have to be able to follow.
Absolutely. So I say this, and this doesn't happen on purpose. It just happens naturally because, it does on purpose because Belly left. Execute the game plan, putting people in the right position, everybody knowing their job, and then getting the job done. And you kind of everything relates back to it, whether it's not about athletics, it's about life and organizational change and family structure change and changing our community. And so I'm really proud of you as a young lady that is going to represent Youngstown City Schools for the rest of your life as a valedictorian. I'm going to go off and do great things. And again, we want you to come back and be a part of our continued journey. So as we end, any last parting words that you want to share with your classmates or the community or your family?
Stay focused and stay determined.
All right. That's it.
I like it.
All right. I like it. Ms. Mulcahy, any words you want to share with the school community or with your school community or the community at large?
Go Cowboys.
Saddle up. I got it. All right. Well, again, I thank you for both being on here and telling your story and being a part of the greatness of Youngstown. So as we exit, remember, belly left, know your job, execute at a high level, prepare at a high level so that you can then execute at a high level. And then we keep running it until they stop it.
This podcast is the property of Shofin Broadcasting and Youngstown City Schools. Shofin audio and video broadcasting students recorded and produced this episode.